Did you happen to watch Pistons in Atlanta the other night?
Part of it.
Okay. I strongly dislike Trae Young. I cannot stand Trae Young's game.
A little bit of a chucker?
Well, no. He's dribble into guys, fall down, get a call, throw the ball at the rim. Over and over and over. And talk about bogging down and making the game unwatchable. Trae Young, for basketball purposes, watching you play sucks. It sucks watching you play. I hate watching you play. Watching guys shoot free throws doesn't interest me. And Trae Young, you could just see the frustration in the Pistons. Craig Kelser had a great line during that game. He said, if Trae Young was a car, he'd have a problem finding an insurance company to insure him because he's constantly creating contact, which it's clear the sole purpose of the contact is to go shoot free throws. And he averages a league high 10.4 free throws per game. But watching him play when he's playing in NBA games, it sucks. He's the guy at LA Fitness that's constantly calling foul. And he is creating all the contact. And he's tiny.
He's doing that in the NBA.
And he's quicker than everybody. And I'm not saying it doesn't take skill to be able to do what he does, but it is so boring watching Trae Young basketball games. That Piston game the other night was an awful watch because it was a constant. He didn't do anything in the first half. So in the second half, he went full on, I'm going to get mine, and I'm going to get mine from the free throw line. And it was awful. And I would put him at the top of the list right now of my least favorite athletes for only reason is watching games he plays in sucks. It sucks.
Huh.
Can't stand watching Trae Young play basketball.
I didn't notice it. I don't doubt the veracity of your claim. And it would be annoying. It's also one of those things that's probably, if he's on your team, you love it because it's a strategy to get the other team in foul trouble. And you get to the line, and the more fouls you accumulate, the faster they get into the bonus. And
it works.
Yeah, it works.
I just think it's bad for basketball.
We'd probably embrace it here in Detroit, though, if it were our guy.
You know, when you immediately go to you'd be a hypocrite. I'm not going to sit here and argue it with you, I guess, but I would put him. It's funny because you think about players you don't like sometimes because of the teams they play for, the trash that they talk, or, you know, they posed or clowned on your favorite guy, or whatever it is that you, for whatever reason, you don't like the look on his face. You might not like a player in sports for a variety of reasons. I don't like Trae Young because I think watching Trae Young play basketball is boring. I don't get any enjoyment out of watching him shoot his 10.5 free throws a game.
Well, I understand what you're saying because there's a player like that who's a Hall of Fame player in another sport that I feel the same way because of the way that he played, which was just I got so annoyed with it that I can only watch highlights of him and appreciate the highlights as opposed to watching him actually play the game. And that was Peyton Manning. I could not stand Peyton Manning. Go ahead, because he'd get to the line of scrimmage with like 25 seconds, and then he'd start barking out the call, yell out Omaha 6 or 7 times, back off, get the play, come back to the line of scrimmage, Omaha again, back off, get back to the line of scrimmage. And I'm like, let's go. Run the play. Run the damn play. And I get that that's part of what made him great is surveying what the defense is and figuring out the counter to that should be. And it's awesome for him, and he's a Hall of Famer because of it. But watching his games live, for me, was borderline unwatchable because of that style, that antic that he used.
So even if they snap the ball at roughly the same time every other team does, it was that they go to the line of scrimmage and you were ready for a play to start, and it would take forever.
Yeah, I get it if you're, get to the line of scrimmage with 10 seconds to go and you're running the clock down to 1. And it's one of those things that I fully endorse as a football fan for my team. I'd like you to work the clock down to 0 before you snap the ball. But when you get to the line of scrimmage with 25 or 30 seconds left on the clock and you're working the clock down to 0, that to me is the annoying part. And then it may seem hypocritical or strange, but just standing at the line of scrimmage, barking out, and then you change the call. And then you bark out again, and then you change the call. I hate it.
Unwatchable. In your view, it was unwatchable.
Yeah.
It's actually that's just I think it's an optics thing for you, Gator, because Doug, you just mentioned it. It doesn't. Every team will use the same amount of time, but for you, when you see them at the line, you want the play called, and you want.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I totally get it.
Ball,
like I said, there are times I'm watching Michigan State play, and I'm thinking in my mind, I think the best strategy for you guys to go out there and ensure the win or close it out is to work the clock, get that clock all the way down to 1-0, snap the ball. And you're not doing it. You're wasting them. Like, you just snapped it with 8 seconds left. You just snapped it with 10 seconds left. That's 2 plays. That's 18 seconds. What are you doing? But it's the part where they get to the line and they have to stay there. Maybe it's because I was a lineman and it bothered me to no end as a lineman when you're in your stance for as long as you've got to be and the guy hasn't snapped the damn ball. Snap the damn ball so I can move. I don't know.
Well,
it's a question for Jan. I bet you Jansen has a good answer for that too.
Who are the people in sports that, in your view, make a game unwatchable? You cannot stand watching the games, not because they got the, as you put it, the punchable face, or he killed your team, or he talked too much trash, or you don't like his contract, but because of the way they play the game.